Wait, I gotta find out what's the date, February 11th.
Wait, go on.
February 11th.
It's February 11! The Historical Commission is having fun. We were having hat night. 2 hats showed up. I was gonna wear mine. 2 hats didn't show up, so I went with the guys who were follically challenged.
The commission has everything but hair.
True. You speak for yourself.
Oh, we're having a good night. If you're having a day watching us, that's fine too. Just make it a nice one. So, February 11th, our agenda will begin with the minutes of January, but we're not going to read them tonight because we didn't bring them. So, frivolity starts. We'll catch up to them next month. Not in it. Anybody at home was waiting for these. Same thing with the financial update.
Bad news about the financial report, bad attack of historical ennui.
I am pleased, and I'm going to put it here under financial update, to tell you that we had voted to buy the Dudley Dairies book, and we're willing to cough up $50 for it. And on my way to getting that done, I ran into someone who donated the $50. So it's not going to cost us a sou. We're getting the book, and many thanks to that donor. We'll put a flyleaf in the book. He asked that it be dedicated to somebody. I said, all day long. We're very happy. So I understand it's printed, and I just haven't got it from Roger yet, because he's bringing one over for us. He's bringing one over for the library also. So there'll be copies available, especially in the library shortly. Either I got to get to Charlton or he's going to come to Dudley. You know,
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to get together with anybody anymore. So it's coming, folks. If you're waiting for that Dudley Dairies book. All right, Historic District signage. We will be dedicating the district, or celebrating the district, I guess, in June. We've already agreed to the date, that's Saturday. And we need to have the signage up and running before that. And I'm looking at crafting a request to the Malzer Trust, the Janet Malzer Humanities Trust, for at least partial, if not full payment of the signs. But I've got to sit down and have the signs designed and work out the details. I'm guessing over the next 2 meetings we have, that would be March and April, we'll get that nailed down and have some things that we can look at and say, yeah, this one looks good and that one not. I'll bring them to us. And once we agree, we'll be good. But he can give me a ballpark figure on 3 signs, in and out on the ends, and one in the center, which will be a double also. So if you're coming up the road or down the road, you'll be able to say, oh, at the 4 corners, this is the district. All right, questions on that? My guess is...
Highway department, can we get the highway department to install them?
To install them? Yeah, oh, sure. That won't be a problem at all. And I'm thinking we use the 1800s woodblock print that we've used on other kinds of business that we do. And who did that? What was the name of that? Barber. Good. I know between the 2 of them. Between the 3 of us, we have a brain. You guys, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, whatever. The old guys know. The Barber print, wood block print, that went out in the 1800s. It's nice. It gives it a focus, and then we'll just put some wording above it and below. Short, quick, easy to read, so that we don't have people going off the road saying, and what's the little print on that?
Do we have an idea about the size of the sign?
No, I got to talk to Vinny in the highway department and the chief of police to make sure we're not exceeding anything, and the visuals too, where it can be without hampering the traffic. You know, the town's going to install them, so they have to get that right anyway. But I don't want to make something so big.
Yeah, you know,
Vinny's
block the
saying,
view.
okay, we took a chainsaw to it, and now it's the right size, Ed. I think we'll be good. So that's coming your way. I talked about the donation. The district celebration, as we said, is going to be June 20, and time's starting to click on that, so we should chat a little bit about what we think can happen. I know on that weekend, the Congregational Church is going to have a service on Sunday, the 21st, and that will be, Pastor John's going to do an old sermon, or his view of an old sermon.
An edited old sermon.
Yeah. And that'll be a fun service. So mark it on your dates, go to church for a change, come on. And we're thinking, some kind of musical thing, some family-oriented stuff. We're 2 days after the Strawberry Festival, so it can't be too Strawberry Festival-ish. It has to be its own unique draw to get people up there. And it would actually be a great time for us to bring some reenactors up in their costumes with their horses, kind of like we did at the, 10 years ago. That one, we got the group from Sturbridge over. They looked magnificent. I hope these guys are still riding around. Sturbridge guys, there are people out there.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And maybe we get an old Revolutionary War band, Civil War band, World War I band.
I'm just thinking of, I don't know if they're available, but I've got a couple of friends who were both in the Army, and their duties while in the Army was fife and drum corps.
There you go.
And like I said, one of them ended up working in the post office. I believe he's retired.
We want to hold that against them.
No, I just don't know if they're available. I could.
Yeah, give them a call. There ain't no other people around.
No.
So it's time for us to gather some ideas. If you've seen anybody or said, ooh, that would be kind of in what we're thinking about. I think it would be a different draw, different music. We'll see what we can come up with. And we could have a full-on Civil War battle again up there, but
No,
we don't need to
think
go
about
down that road.
On the other hand,
We could get the veterans to come up and eat all our sandwiches.
don't be nasty.
On the other hand, what?
I was just thinking it might be kind of fun, it might not. I'll have a Revolutionary War to Civil War cannon,
A Revolutionary War
or Civil War cannon,
cannon.
with a cannon crew.
This is just a-
Little firings on the
Boom!
cannon. Maybe
I gotta tell you, the cannons they used in Thompson this past fall, I think it was, as part of their Civil War reenactment, were phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow. Now, phenomenal in a field, different than phenomenal, oh my,
Can I tell you a
on the
story?
top of Dudley Hill with Tiffany's windows.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I tell
So,
you a
you
story?
don't really need a lot of percussion.
Well, I had some friends who were part of the Knox Trail reenactment,
Yeah.
and they talked about blowing out windows, firing their cannons on town commons.
We're not interested in that.
So probably not, but
They had a battery of Rodman cannons, that the guns weighed 50,000 pounds apiece on Verona Island up in Bucksport, Maine, and they sent an artillery company from Portland up there on the 4th of July around 1880, and they fired the cannons, and it was a mile across the water to Bucksport, and when they fired those cannons, they broke every window in the town of Bucksport. They were 15-inch iron guns, and when they
Yeah.
fired them all, they blew every window in town out.
yeah, maybe not.
It's
Probably
amazing.
want to steer away from that.
We're gonna
We
avoid
don't
I
wanna
that.
was
do that.
thinking more of a 6-pounder.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even have to be a full charge. It could be a half
No,
charge,
but
a
what
quarter
I'm saying
charge.
is that, 6-pounders about like.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just gonna fire
These
wadding,
things-
they're not gonna
These
fire
things
the
are like
ball.
this, David.
I know. I know what a Rodman is.
Yeah.
You get the same thing with what are those reinforced breech things? Dahlgrens. had some, those.
They sold most of them for scrap around 1900, but there's still 4 or 5 of them.
Whatever was left went to World War I,
Yeah.
scrap drives.
Right. Nothing like a war to clean out your closet.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
All right, well, it's still things we're thinking about, but email me or whatever in advance of the next meeting if you can come up with something. You can't sleep at night. It's a perfect thing to think of because it'll put you right out.
Maybe somebody will bring a Rodman down to the landfill,
Yeah.
bring it to the historical commission.
Yeah, we found this, and we know you're looking for historical items. The sign looks good.
It does.
I don't know if they've gotten anybody knocking on their door yet.
I talked to Paul about it, and he says that, well, this was a week ago, most people aren't noticing it.
Yeah,
And we talked about moving it from above the door down to the
to the side, yeah.
And he went up and talked to Vinnie at the town barn. And I guess they're gonna leave it for a few weeks and see what happens. If people continue to not notice it, then they'll move it.
Yeah. Give
But
it a shot.
It's
for a while.
there.
The other thing is we could string lights on it, and you could plug it in at, when
Yeah,
it
you could
shows
do
up
that.
for work.
Yeah, or you could get a
If you
couple.
can't have fun at your job,
you
you know.
could Get a couple neon arrow
Arrows.
signs.
Thing. During the heavy times during the
Well,
week, yeah.
I
Just what you need is another
I
distraction.
have a question about that.
Mm.
Because I was thinking about this when I was putting the sign up, actually. If we get stuff, and for whatever reason, we don't want it, what happens to it?
You sneak it away.
Well, it's right there.
If we get it up here and we don't,
Well, we have to vet the stuff that comes in.
yeah, but we're not gonna vet it at the dump.
No. No. Well, you never know.
Well, you might, yeah.
Sometimes you go, whoa, no.
I know.
No, we'll look it over, and if it's something we want, then we save it, and if it's not, we just move it on,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
But it's no different than anything that comes into us, even at the tavern or something. You have to look at it and say, it does or doesn't make sense for us. So we either accept it or
Yeah.
don't. And if it's just left, we're assuming that
Nobody
it's
wants
ours
it.
to do as we wish.
Yeah, nobody wants it.
Yep. All right, so moving down to, Veterans Monument, I don't have any more new information on cleaning that. I asked a lot of people, and no one seems to know, but we'll keep at it.
Now, we're talking about cleaning the bronze part of it, or
The bronze part, yeah, and,
You bombard it with walnut shells.
yeah,
Well, that's what they do, that's what they use it for.
Yeah, sometimes they use baking soda. I forget, it's something that they need that's non-aggressive, some type of media.
because it has like a shellac over it.
Okay.
So it's been treated with something, and that's what's
Worn off.
deteriorated. So now you're down to the dull metal itself. So
Mm.
what we need to do is have it cleaned down and then re-sealed or shellacked or whatever it is.
I'll ask at work tomorrow, maybe they've done something with their monuments in Southbridge.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
Cautionary tale too, go take a look at the dedication plaque at the First Congregational Church. It has been cleaned somewhere in the past 20 years, and it's incredibly irregular. There's some really shiny spots and some really dull spots, just as cautionary.
Oh, you got to be careful what you're using,
Oh,
who's doing it.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it worse than it is. It's serviceable, but the south side in particular gets beat up. You could see that it's deteriorated
Well,
more.
that's the
Well,
south
that's
side.
Yeah, the sun's doing its job. So it's a solar project too, on top of everything else.
But I imagine they're gonna need to take that coating completely off and then reapply.
Right. They'll have to be stripped, recoated. And I don't think it'll be cheap, but when we get to that point, I think we can go to the veterans group out of the State House that supplied us money for the stuff we've done on the common already. They love those projects.
Could also go to, like American Legion or, I'm not talking about the local, but the organization,
Yeah.
American Legion,
They're
Veterans of Foreign Wars, their
Gee.
organizations.
The DAR, we could get little pieces of the grant done,
Mhm.
you know, from different groups. Mauser grant suggestions, as I've said, we're looking at two. We're going in and asking for some support on our not reenactors, our artists and crafts people for the October
Third.
3rd event, part of the Black Tavern Craft Fair on the Common. Well, we got half of that costs of $1,400, $700 coming from the Cultural Council. Thank you, Cultural Council. And we're looking for another $700, and we'll apply to the Mausers.
Actually, we've got the 63 and change
Yeah,
left over, so I'm asking for 636.
all right, we're not nickel and diamond here, we're just broad numbers, roughly.
I learned somewhere in the past, when I used to do things like, we were working on the Black Tavern Barn,
Mhm.
I used to do it to the penny.
Oh, we will at that point. Right now, for the folks at home, they're saying, what? How much was that? 63 cents?
Or whatever, but it's.
A broad $700.
Everybody got the grant, the copy of it. I've made a few edits. They're minor edits, like correcting a couple spelling mistakes. Did anybody have any problems with it? Is it reasonable?
Yeah.
Want to
No.
get it out this week?
Yeah, we can get, yeah,
I'll
it's
sign
ready
you
to
sign it.
go.
I'll make the copies and get
Yeah.
it to Tom Smith if you want.
Okay. We'll be early.
Nothing wrong with being early.
Yep. Anything else on Melzer grant requests?
You talked about the sign.
Yeah, earlier I mentioned it, so I'll put together whatever we get with that. They're very different things, but I think that they're both things that the Melzer Trust is interested in. Other business not known, or member concerns.
I'm not concerned.
You're not concerned. Dave, you're happy?
I'm happy.
Chuck?
Yep.
Mike, you okay over there? or-
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's copacetic tonight. All right, then I'm accepting.
Motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Thank you, folks.